For decades, Meryl Streep has been one of the most respected and admired actresses in the world. Many people grew up watching her films, quoting her lines, and seeing her as a symbol of talent and strength. She played powerful women, complicated mothers, leaders, dreamers, and survivors. On screen, she always seemed steady, confident, and in control. But now that she has turned 76, life looks quieter, slower, and in some ways more fragile than fans might expect. If you love Meryl Streep, take a moment to like and subscribe before we begin. Many people imagine that a legendary actress lives a perfect life forever. They picture large homes, endless praise, and constant excitement. But the truth is often quieter. Getting older can bring physical tiredness, emotional reflection, and moments of loneliness. Friends grow older too. Some step away from public life. Others pass on. The film industry changes, and the spotlight moves toward younger faces. None of this erases her achievements, but it does change how each day feels. Turning 76 is a major milestone for anyone. For someone who has spent most of her life in front of cameras and audiences, it can feel even more complicated. When you are famous, people don't just see who you are now. They remember who you were decades ago. They remember the younger version of you. They expect that version to stay frozen in time. But real life doesn't work that way. As the years pass, the body naturally slows down. Energy levels change. Long filming schedules that once felt normal can become exhausting. Travel that used to feel exciting can start to feel draining. None of this is unusual. It happens to everyone. The difference is that for a public figure, these changes happen while millions of people are still watching and remembering the past. For much of her life, she was known for being incredibly active and dedicated to her work. She took on complex roles, learned accents, and spent months preparing for films. That level of commitment requires a lot of energy. Now, the pace is different. There are fewer projects, and the ones she chooses are often more manageable. This is not because she has lost her talent. It's because time changes what feels possible day to day. Another challenge of aging in the public eye is dealing with expectations. Fans still admire her and still want to see her on screen. They celebrate every appearance. But they also sometimes forget that she is no longer in her 40s or 50s. The pressure to maintain a certain image can be tiring. Even small public appearances can require preparation and energy that people outside the spotlight might not realize. There is also the emotional side of growing older while being known around the world. Every year brings reflection. Birthdays feel different when you are in your 70s. There is gratitude for a long life and successful career, but there is also awareness that time moves quickly. Friends and colleagues from earlier decades are now older too. Some have retired. Some are gone. These changes create a sense of distance from the past that can feel heavy at times. Despite all this, she continues to carry herself with calm and dignity. She does not appear in public constantly, but when she does, she remains thoughtful and composed. She has learned to live with a slower pace and accept that life now is different from what it once was. This chapter of life is less about proving anything and more about simply living day by day. There was a time when her name alone could carry a film. Directors wanted to work with her. Writers created roles with her in mind. Award season almost always included her in some way. For decades, she stood at the center of Hollywood. But the film industry changes constantly, and even legends feel those changes over time. Today, the entertainment world moves faster than ever. Streaming platforms release new shows every week. Younger actors rise quickly. Trends shift. The industry that once depended heavily on established stars now focuses more on fresh faces and new stories. This doesn't mean her legacy is forgotten. It simply means the environment around her is different from the one she once dominated. Roles for older actresses exist, but they are fewer. Scripts often center on younger characters. When opportunities do come, they tend to be smaller or less frequent. For someone who spent decades working nonstop, this change can feel strange. The quiet between projects grows longer. The phone doesn't ring as often. There is more time at home, more time to think, and more time to adjust to a life that is no longer defined by constant work. This shift is not only professional, it's emotional too. Work can give structure to life. It provides routine, purpose, and connection. When the pace slows, it creates space that didn't exist before. Some people welcome that space. Others find it difficult. For someone who has always been dedicated to her craft, stepping back, even gradually, requires adjustment. At the same time, she has reached a point where she can choose what she wants to do. She no longer needs to prove herself. She can accept roles that interest her and decline the ones that don't. But having that freedom doesn't always remove the feeling of being less central in an industry she helped shape. Watching the spotlight move on can be bittersweet. Still, there is respect. Younger actors speak about her with admiration. Directors still value her experience. The industry may have changed, but her influence remains. The challenge is learning to live in a world where you are no longer at the center of everything. That transition can be quiet and sometimes emotional, especially after a lifetime of constant attention. Beyond the public career, there is the personal life that few people fully see. Over time, long relationships evolve. Families grow and change. Children become adults and build their own lives. Homes that were once full of noise and activity can become quieter. This is a normal part of life, but it can feel especially noticeable in later years. Long marriages and partnerships go through phases. Decades together create deep bonds, but they also bring change. People grow in different directions. They develop new routines and interests. Sometimes they spend more time apart, focusing on their own lives. This doesn't always mean conflict. Sometimes it simply means distance that comes naturally with time. For someone who spent years balancing work and family, there may now be more time to reflect on those relationships. The busy years of raising children and working nonstop are over. What remains is a quieter rhythm. Phone calls replace daily conversations. Visits replace constant presence. There is pride in watching children succeed, but there is also a sense of missing the days when everyone was under one roof. Friends from earlier decades may live far away. Some may be dealing with their own aging and health challenges. Keeping in touch takes effort. Social circles become smaller. Invitations become less frequent. Life becomes more centered around home and close family rather than large gatherings and events. These changes can create moments of loneliness, even in a life that looks full from the outside. Being admired by millions is not the same as having someone sit with you at the end of the day. Fame can bring recognition, but it doesn't replace everyday companionship. Adjusting to a quieter personal life can be one of the more difficult parts of getting older. At 76, health becomes something you think about more often. This is true for everyone, whether they are famous or not. The body changes with time. Energy levels are not what they once were. Simple tasks can require more rest. Long days can feel longer than they used to. These are natural parts of aging, but they still require adjustment. Aging itself brings challenges. Maintaining strength, staying active, and managing everyday health becomes a priority. Regular checkups, careful routines, and listening to the body become part of daily life. For someone who once worked long hours on film sets, slowing down can feel unfamiliar at first. Travel can be more tiring. Public appearances require more preparation. Even social events can take energy. Many people in their 70s choose to spend more time at home, focusing on comfort and stability. Quiet mornings, simple meals, and restful evenings become more appealing than constant movement. There is also the mental side of aging. Reflection becomes more common. You think about the years behind you and the years ahead. You remember moments that shaped your life. You consider what still matters most. This process can be peaceful, but it can also bring moments of sadness. It is natural to feel both gratitude and vulnerability at the same time. Despite the changes, there is strength in adaptation. Learning to live at a slower pace doesn't mean giving up. It means adjusting. It means choosing what truly matters and letting go of what no longer feels necessary. It means finding comfort in routine and meaning in simple days. Her life now is not defined by constant work or endless appearances. It is defined by balance, rest, and reflection. The energy that once fueled a nonstop career is used more carefully. Each day is approached with awareness and patience. This is the reality of aging. These days, her life moves at a slower and quieter pace than it once did. There are fewer early morning calls, fewer flights across the world, and fewer nights spent on film sets under bright lights. Instead, much of her time is spent at home or in familiar places where she feels comfortable. After decades of constant movement, the stillness can feel both peaceful and unfamiliar. When someone has lived most of their adult life surrounded by cameras and schedules, stepping back creates a noticeable shift. There is more time to wake up slowly, to read, to take walks, or to simply sit and think. These moments might sound relaxing, and sometimes they are, but they also bring a sense of distance from the busy life that once filled every hour. Without the structure of regular filming or travel, days can feel longer. The rhythm of life changes, and adjusting to that rhythm takes time. At home, the environment is calmer. There are no large crews, no makeup trailers, no scripts waiting to be memorized late into the night. Instead, there are ordinary routines. Meals are quieter. Evenings are often spent watching television, reading, or speaking with family on the phone. The excitement of premieres and award shows has been replaced by something more ordinary. That ordinariness is not a bad thing, but it can feel strange after so many years of high energy. There are still occasional appearances. A special event, a tribute, or a carefully chosen role may bring her back into the public eye. When those moments happen, people are reminded of who she has always been. They celebrate her talent and her long career. But once the event ends, she returns to her private life, where things are much quieter. That contrast between public admiration and private stillness can be difficult to explain to those who have never lived it. Sometimes, there is comfort in routine. Familiar surroundings bring stability. Knowing what each day might look like can feel grounding. But there can also be moments when the quiet feels heavy. After years of constant interaction and creativity, silence can feel louder than expected. It becomes important to find small things that bring joy, conversations with loved ones, time outdoors, or revisiting old films and memories. Fame brings recognition and opportunity, but it can also create distance. When someone is known by millions, it becomes difficult to live like an ordinary person. Even in later years, that attention doesn't completely disappear. People still recognize her face, still approach her in public, and still see her as a symbol rather than simply a person. Over time, that can feel isolating. During the busiest years of her career, the constant work and public attention left little time for quiet reflection. There was always another project, another interview, another event. But as those demands slow down, the emotional impact of decades in the spotlight becomes more noticeable. It becomes clear how much of life was lived in front of others and how little was fully private. Fame can sometimes create a barrier between a person and the world around them. Conversations may feel different when people already know so much about you. Friendships can be harder to form when others feel intimidated or starstruck. Over time, social circles often become smaller and more carefully chosen.
Trust becomes more important.
Privacy becomes more valuable. In later years, when work slows and schedules open up, the absence of constant interaction can feel more noticeable. There are fewer daily conversations with coworkers. Fewer shared experiences on set. Fewer moments of collaboration. What remains are memories of those years and a quieter present. That shift can create a sense of emotional distance from the world that once felt so active and full. Despite this, there is still appreciation. Letters from fans, kind words from younger actors, and recognition from the industry continue to arrive. These gestures remind her that her work mattered and still matters. But admiration from afar is different from everyday companionship. At the end of the day, everyone wants simple connection. Someone to talk to, someone to share a meal with, someone who understands life beyond the public image. Family has always been an important part of her life. Over the years, she balanced a demanding career with raising children and maintaining close relationships. During those busy decades, the house was often full of activity, conversations, celebrations, and the everyday noise of family life. Now, as the years pass, that energy has naturally changed. Children grow up. They build their own lives, careers, and families. They move to different places.
They become independent.
This is something every parent eventually experiences. There is pride in seeing them succeed and find their own paths, but there is also a quiet sense of loss when the house becomes less busy. The daily routines that once involved school schedules and shared meals shift into occasional visits and phone calls. For someone who spent years balancing work and family, there may be moments of reflection about how quickly time passed. The early years of motherhood can feel like they happened yesterday, even though decades have gone by. Looking at old photos or remembering family trips can bring both joy and a touch of sadness. These memories remind her of a time when life felt fuller and louder. Relationships with adult children often become more about conversation and support rather than daily presence. Visits may be planned weeks in advance. Holidays become special occasions rather than regular gatherings. When those visits end, the house returns to its quieter state. Adjusting to that rhythm takes emotional strength. There is also the reality that everyone grows older. Family members face their own health challenges and responsibilities. Schedules become complicated. Time together becomes more precious but less frequent. This stage of life often involves learning to appreciate the moments that do happen rather than focusing on the ones that don't. Despite the distance, the bonds remain strong. Phone calls, messages, and occasional gatherings continue to provide connection. Pride in her children and their lives remains a constant source of comfort. Letting go of the past version of family life doesn't mean losing it completely. It simply means accepting that it has changed. That acceptance can be difficult, but it also brings a sense of peace when approached with patience. As people move into their 70s, memories often feel closer than the present. For someone with such a long and active career, there are decades of experiences to look back on. Old films, interviews, and photographs serve as reminders of earlier times when life moved quickly and the future felt wide open. There are memories of first auditions, early successes, and the excitement of discovering new roles. There are recollections of working with directors, actors, and crews who have since moved on or passed away. Each project left its mark, not just professionally but personally. These memories form a kind of timeline that stretches across a lifetime. Looking back can bring comfort. It can also bring a sense of longing. There is a natural tendency to compare the present to the past. The energy of youth, the excitement of busy years, and the feeling of constant purpose can feel far away. When daily life becomes quieter, those memories sometimes feel more vivid than what is happening now. Watching old films can be a strange experience. Seeing a younger version of yourself on screen reminds you of how much time has passed. It shows the physical and emotional changes that come with age. For someone whose life has been documented so thoroughly, these reminders are always there. Every film becomes a snapshot of a different time. Still, there is gratitude. Few people have the chance to build such a long and meaningful career. The memories are proof of years spent doing work she loved. They represent relationships formed, challenges overcome, and moments of creativity shared with the world. Even if the present is quieter, those memories remain a source of strength. Living with so many memories means learning to balance reflection with the present moment. It means appreciating what has been without becoming lost in it. It means recognizing that while the past was full, the present still has value. Finding that balance is part of growing older with grace. When a career slows down, it can create questions about purpose. For someone who spent decades working constantly, the change can feel unsettling at first. Without the structure of regular projects, it becomes necessary to find meaning in new ways. Purpose doesn't disappear, but it does evolve. Some days are filled with simple routines: reading, walking, speaking with family, or attending small events. These activities may seem ordinary, but they provide stability. They create a sense of continuity. They remind her that life still moves forward, even without the busy schedule of earlier years. There are also moments of involvement in causes and organizations that matter to her. Supporting others, offering guidance to younger artists, or participating in discussions about the arts can provide a sense of connection. Even if she is not working constantly, her experience and perspective remain valuable. Sharing that knowledge can bring quiet satisfaction. Purpose in later life often comes from smaller things. A meaningful conversation, a thoughtful letter, or a peaceful afternoon can hold more weight than a large public event. Learning to appreciate these moments requires a shift in mindset. It means valuing presence over productivity and connection over recognition. There can still be difficult days. Moments when the absence of a busy schedule feels heavy. Moments when the future feels uncertain. But those moments are balanced by gratitude for a long life and a career that left a lasting mark. Finding purpose becomes less about achievement and more about presence, being there for family, for friends, and for oneself. At 76, she is living a life that is quieter than the one most people remember. The red carpets are fewer. The filming schedules are lighter. The days are more private. But beneath that quieter surface is the same person who dedicated her life to her craft and her family. She is still thoughtful, still observant, and still aware of the world around her. Life now is shaped by routine and reflection. Mornings may start slowly. Afternoons might involve reading or spending time with loved ones. Evenings are often calm. There is less urgency and more acceptance. The pace of life is determined by comfort rather than career demands. There are moments of sadness. That is natural in later years. Time moves quickly, and the past can feel close. There are people and places that exist now only in memory. There are changes that cannot be reversed. But there is also dignity in the way she continues to live. She has accepted that life evolves. She has learned to move forward with patience. The world still respects her. Younger generations continue to discover her work. Her films remain part of cinema history. That legacy does not fade, even if her daily life has become more private. She is no longer at the center of constant attention, but she remains a figure of admiration and respect. This stage of life is not about proving anything. It is about living quietly and meaningfully. It is about finding peace in ordinary days and appreciating the years that have passed. The woman she is today is shaped by everything she has experienced: success, change, family, and time itself. Her story at 76 is not a dramatic ending. It is a continuation. It is a reminder that even the most celebrated lives eventually settle into something more personal and reflective. And in that quieter space, there is still strength, still dignity, and still a life being lived one day at a time.